Digital health is going to be now a permanent trend. Consumers, instead of referring to hospitals and going to physically to meet doctors and clinics, wherever avoidable, they are now going to behave exactly like how they behave as shoppers of products and services, much like what has led to e-commerce, e-grocery, and e-pharmacy pickup in the country. So they are going to look at health as a service, and there are going to be digital health platforms, whether it is for women, whether it is for kids, whether it's for geriatrics, whether it is for men, whether it is for overall spiritual wellness, whether it is for chronics. This is definitely going to be the trend in 2021. The place to discover, find, purchase, and rate your health providers is going to be online in 2021. So we see that trend in health coming up extremely strongly. As a result of which, data analytics, will operate also very strongly in the health sector. And India has been poor in terms of data, and EMRs and such public health systems don't exist. But that is going to be privately built out. And I feel that is going to also lead to a dramatic improvement in terms of our insurance sector. So we will see in the fintech sector of insurance, a rapid pickup in terms of overseas models being applied over here, where different people with different track records and health histories will be given different premiums, not just on the basis of their age, gender, and where they stay, which is currently the norm. Towards the fintech side, micropayments is going to be extremely high on focus. As COVID goes away and public share transport and transit resumes in full swing, we will see that consumers will shun currency and coinage to pay for small, payments like public transit, which is 50 rupees or 60 rupees to travel from one place to another, or indeed, in the public share transport of e-rickshaws and stuff, where you're seeing 10 or 20 rupee payments to be made. All of this will be made through NFC-based card systems. And that is why we also invested in a company called CityCash, which is doing exactly that. 200 million people in the country continue to depend on non-digital payment methods like cash, and that certainly does not forebode well for the economy because it restricts credit. It starves consumers of better loan products and better insurance and better underwriting for their future. Similarly, in the education sector, or indeed in the D2C sector, we are going to see more and more, consumer brands emerge direct, making direct bonds with the consumer, offline channels, and leaving behind 30 to 40% margins on the table for channels is a paradigm that needs shifting. And it is going to happen not just in the urban cities, the top tier cities, but it's also going to happen through social commerce into the tier 3 cities and beyond. Yeah. One of the other interesting things that's going to take place in India is the expansion of e-commerce into tier 2 cities and beyond. But it's not going to happen the same way as e-commerce 1.0 came into our lives for those of us who happen to stay in the top cities. So e-commerce 1.0 was all about high order volume or high order value, and it was about a logistics cost being spread over a high order value, right? And it was about a consumer who is owning a smartphone, used to shopping in supermarkets, knows about the concept of shopping carts, knows about the concept of a checkout, does not need any assistance, does not need to touch and feel the product, has a high degree of trust with digital channels, having interacted on this before, booked tickets and all of those things. So in the tier 2 and 3 cities and beyond, the consumer is not like that. Consumer is going to have smaller order values. They don't have that sense of that scale of disposable income. So therefore, there is going to be, much like China, social commerce models where orders are aggregated with a reseller or a community leader, and the e-commerce company or the social commerce company in this case is going to make a delivery to this person who stays in your neighborhood. And these neighborhoods tend to be far more congested than the top tier consumers, which e-commerce 1.0 companies like Flipkart and Amazon are used to serving. So those models are not going to work out over here, purely because the cost of delivery is never going to work out for that small an order value. So therefore, social commerce is going to come out in a big way.